Financial literacy is super important.
Absolutely. 27% of our people being financially literate.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's a
Yeah. Currently, we have so many videos to learn anything, absolutely anything.
Yeah.
Why do you think someone has to pay for a learning platform?
Education technology is huge and is going to become bigger in India. That's the same thing for like tech, product, case studies, finance. Less than 5 or 7% of Indians invest in the stock market.
Less than 5%.
Whereas in US, I think the number is more than 75% of
Correct.
Americans invest, right? So we need to really ramp up financial literacy in order for people to start investing.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our show, The House of Equentis. Today, we have an inspiring guest with us, Shreyans Sancheti. So, Shreyans is the co-founder of Bluelearn, one of India's largest internship and learning platforms with over 250K members. He had raised about $4 million in college at BITS Pilani. Now, Shreyans is also an avid stock market enthusiast and loves to read and travel. So, let's dive right in. Welcome, Shreyans. Are you comfortable?
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
So let's start off with an introduction. Tell me more about yourself, your journey, etc.
Yeah, so I think your intro covered most of it. I was born and brought up in US, lived the first 12 years of my life there, then moved to India, and it's been a crazy journey. From changing multiple schools, going to college at BITS, and then starting up. Like all startups, Bluelearn was never started off with an intention of becoming a startup. It was started up as a side hustle, side project, which then over time evolved into, a venture-backed startup. So, yeah.
So where in US?
I was born and brought up in Boston.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then when did you move to India?
When I was about 13 years old, 12 and a half, 13 years old, I moved to Bangalore and spent the last 12 years here.
Okay, nice. So Shreyans, you did start ULOC while you were in college. So tell me more about this idea and where it come from.
Yeah, so when I was in college, I was actually really passionate about finance. I wanted to
Okay.
become an investment banker. I wanted to work at Goldman Sachs or
Okay.
whatever, right? And within the first week of college, I met Harish, one of my co-founders today. And actually, Harish was running HuLock from even before he came to college. And he was just running it as like a digital marketing agency of sorts. And that's when I approached him and said, hey, I can write some blogs. I know SEO. Why not, I join you and we can do something together with it. And I didn't think he would take me seriously. But a week later, he came back and he said, hey, I found a client. He needs a web development and 30 blogs written. You write the blogs, I'll do web dev. And we'll, make some money. And this was within the first 1 month of college. We made about 5,000 rupees. And we never looked back from there. It just kept on growing. We started with a digital marketing agency. And then it became a chatbot sort of agency where we helped companies give chatbots, and that just kept going. WhatsApp chatbots, Facebook chatbots, Instagram chatbots, and we had 20, 30 different clients, and yeah.
Oh, nice. So can you go back and tell me more about your passion for finance that you
Yeah.
spoke about? What aspect of finance are you really passionate about?
Yeah, making money. That's what sort of helped me get in the first place. When I was in first year of college, everyone, I wanted to make a little bit of extra money so I can buy that extra food or, go to that extra party. And the easiest way that I came across was, hey, if I buy this stock today, sell it at a 10% increment, next week, I have some extra cash. And thankfully, BITS also had a very good finance club.
Okay.
It was called the Wall Street Club. And
It wasn't called the Lal Street Club.
no, it was called Wall Street Club.
Okay.
And, I met a lot of smart seniors there, and
Nice.
they were like leaps and bounds ahead of me. So that coupled with let's make some money sort of helped me.
That's nice. So, okay, let's move on to the EdTech part of it.
Yeah.
Right now, currently, we have so many videos on YouTube to learn anything, absolutely anything.
Yeah.
And why do you think there is a need for EdTech as such? And why do you think someone has to pay for a learning platform?
Yeah. So I think education is different for every single person. No two people have the same learning journeys or the learning methods. For some people, certain things are easy. For some people, certain things are hard. And with online videos, it's generalized, right? It's not personalized. there's a starting point, there's an end point, and there's a recorded video in the middle. Sometimes people get stuck in the middle, they drop off, lack of motivation, they drop off. So I think education technology helps democratize personalized learning on a large scale. Suddenly, millions of people will have access to, let's say, a one-on-one tutor or a learning group that starts their learning journey at the stage that they need it to start, right? Not at a generic starting point. So I think education technology is huge and is going to become bigger in India, especially with the advent of AI.
All right. So, what is your perspective on AI? And tell me something more on how AI is used in education.
Yeah. Again, personalization, right? Hyper personalization can be achieved with generative AI, especially
Can you
in
tell
today's
me
era.
more on that? How do we achieve personalization?
Yeah. So, for example, let's just take my example for a minute. When I was in first year of college, I wanted to learn more about how can I start trading stocks.
Correct.
Now, if I go to YouTube, they'll start from scratch. But I already knew certain basics. I knew how to read candlesticks. I knew how to, read some technical indicators, fundamental indicators.
Correct.
So I didn't want to waste 5-10 hours going from the basic. I wanted to learn from, let's say, intermediate onwards. So with generative AI, I can just sort of ask ChatGPT or some other LLM, hey, this is what I know, this is what I want to learn. What is the best path or method for me to learn this certain topic or concept? And I think that's something that's never been able to be done before, especially without human interference.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, how do you use AI in Bluelearn?
So Bluelearn has two aspects to it. We have a learning path and a earning path. What happens is most students in college want an internship or they want to make some money via freelancing or look for a full-time job. But when they come to an internship platform like Internship or Bluelearn, they realize that, hey, I'm missing out a couple of these core skill sets. I don't know how, I'm not that proficient in coding or designing, whatever, right? So most of our students, when they came to Bluelearn for looking for an internship, they realized that they don't know a certain skill too well enough to get that internship. And so that's where Bluelearn's learning module comes in. And we say, hey, you're looking for a design internship in UI UX. You need to know Figma really well, right? And you don't know Figma that well. Let's help you get there. So they join our learning modules. We first analyze how much do they know, how much do they need to know to get that internship, and that's where we fill in the gap for them.
So, how many members do you have on your platform right now?
So we have about 250,000, 300,000 members coming in. A large chunk of that is actually free because our internship platform is completely free. We don't think that, a student should pay to get an internship. You should come and just apply. But in case you need that extra help in learning certain topics, that's when our learning module comes up. We have thousands of students who are learning on Bluelearn today.
That's nice. And what, according to you, is the future for AI in the ed sector right now?
That's really tough. It's really hard to imagine where AI could be in a year or 2 years. But I do think that it's, at least that's what I think, is that every single student is going to have a personalized assistant with them. So no matter what they want to learn, no matter how they want to learn it, there is going to be someone always with them answering the questions and just being there for them. So I think that assistant, personal assistant, is something that might change the education technology game.
Okay, well, that's nice. Okay, so this question is something our younger audience would really want to know.
Yeah.
So looking at your work experience, you've done a lot of internships.
Yeah.
So tell me more about this.
Yeah. I think internships give real world exposure and experience to someone, especially while they're still in college. And it is really important that everyone gets that exposure and experience while they're still in college.
Yeah.
And it also helps students realize that, oh, I did this in internship in, let's say, coding, and I didn't like it. That helps them also understand, oh, I don't like coding. Maybe I like designing. Maybe I like product or marketing, finance, sales, right? So I think internships help two things: exposure experience, and it helps you understand what you'd like and don't like. I was fortunate enough to get internships through, I applied to a lot of places, through the, obviously, BidStack helped a little bit. And so I've done internships in around the content area where I learned blogging, SEO, and stuff. I realized that I'm good at it, but not too interested in it. And so my next internship was at World Quant, where I was a quant research, a
Nice.
junior, very junior, like an intern level, where I wrote basic alphas, just risk models to increase, profit. And that was something that I really liked to do. So I continued that and got into trading, options. I interned at Grow. That's what helped me actually get into the
Nice.
internship at Grow. But at that time, Grow said we're not going to hire any interns for our finance or equity part. We'll hire interns for content. And I'm like, hey, that's okay. I've done an internship at content. I
Okay.
know blogging, SEO. I'd love to be a part of, your organization. And so I did that. And right after that, we started building.
So you worked as a content intern for Grow.
Yeah.
What did you work on?
Blogs.
Okay.
Grow today has, I think, 2,500 blogs, maybe even more, 3,000 blogs on the internet. A lot of it's SEO, and a few of the blogs have been written by me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So having our own EdTech platform, which is Informed Investor, we are always at the lookout for competition.
Yeah.
Tell me how intense the competition is in the EdTech scene, and how do you keep your product unique?
Yeah, no. I think competition is immense in almost any field you go
Absolutely,
into, right?
yes.
Be it edtech, fintech. And edtech recently, due to macro, situations, hasn't had the best image. So it's definitely tough. There's less funding happening there. There's less trust right now in edtech. But I think just staying true to your principles, having a set of ethos that you run by. We're not going to cut corners when it comes to education journeys for students. We're not going to cut corners when it comes to getting the best companies to hire from our platform. And so that's a vision and mission that we continue staying true to. And I think just not getting distracted by other noise, other things that are happening helps us stay ahead of the curve.
What do you think is the core value of Bluelearn?
I think it's the community and the helping each other out.
Absolutely,
That's how we started. So my co-founder Harish has a YouTube channel with like 150,000 people, and that community that was formed was a very peer-to-peer driven community. Like, hey, I want to learn coding. You know coding. Let's get on a Google Meet and discuss more about it, right? And I think that's how people want to learn. I'm sure when you were in college, you probably learned more from your friends than your professors.
That's true.
I know I did. And I'm sure everyone else did. So
That's
we're
true.
trying to create a culture of that online, irrespective of which college or which background or which location you're in. You should be able to learn something, like teach me like a friend. And so TMLF is actually one of our small events that we run.
Okay. How many events do you all run on a...
Quite a lot.
Yeah.
Quite a lot. We have almost 5 events every week, 3 to 5 events every single week.
So where do these events... Is it virtual?
Online. Most
Okay.
of them are online. 85%, 90% online.
Okay.
10% offline. Sometimes we have meetups, design, tech, product meetups around India.
Okay. So can you tell me more about how many companies post their hiring requirements on your platform?
Yeah. So we launched our hiring platform in early 2023, about a year and a half ago, roughly. And till date, we've had about 4,500 companies.
4,500 companies, okay.
Post on Bluelearn. We have processed over 300,000 applications.
Oh, nice.
We're processing about 1,000 applications a day today.
Oh, that's quite fantastic.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. I mean, it's going well, but it's tough. Market
This is just
leader stuff.
internship.
So about 60-70% internships,
Okay.
10% full-time jobs, and the remaining as freelancers.
Okay.
So if you're, let's say, you're working on a side project and you're a designer, but you need someone to develop a website for you, you can come and post your requirement on Bluelearn. Someone will come and help you out.
That's nice.
Yeah.
And also, can you tell me more about this projects that you've launched?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
how did that help you?
So projects as a feature was launched less than a year ago, September of last year, and it's really taken off since then. What we realized was that a lot of the second, third, fourth year college students applying to internships didn't have proof of work.
Correct.
And proof of work is essential to show a recruiter how good you are at something. Especially if you're from a tier 2, 3, 4 college, your college's tag name is not going to help you too much in your internship.
Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to generalize it, but yeah, I mean, if you're from like a tier 5 college in India, there's a good
Okay.
chance that recruiter might not know your college, right? And so what's going to help you stand out is your work, which is your proof of work, right? Your portfolio or your GitHub account. And so we realized that most of these students did not have that. And so we thought, let's launch projects as a product to help students build their own proof of work.
Okay.
And I think about 6 to 8 months, we have more than 50,000 students who have created their proof of work on Bluelearn today. How it works is that if you go to Bluelearn's website or app and you want to build a project in, let's say, design. So we'll have a bunch of projects like design the logo and brand for a new coffee shop that's coming up in Bangalore. And so we'll have step-by-step instructions, we'll have, guides and tips and tricks. And by the end of it, you will have a portfolio with a logo designed and the brand colors designed for a new coffee shop. And
nice.
that's the same thing for like tech, product, case studies, finance, research, all
What
of these
exactly in finance and research?
things. So for finance, we sort of have projects of like, let's say, analyze HDFC Bank's
Okay,
fundamentals.
nice.
Do you think it's a good buy over the next couple of months or a good sell? And so that case study, we help them tips and tricks, stepwise, and it really helps a student understand the fundamentals and how to go about research.
Nice. Okay. So tell us more about your college, BITS Pilani,
Yeah.
and also your stint at the Wall Street Club.
Yeah. So I was actually at BITS Pilani Goa campus. So I was in
nice.
Goa. Yeah, that
Sorted.
was crazy. Yeah, Goa was absolutely insane 4 years of my life. But COVID took away about 6-8 months of that. I was at home, but I think I was privileged enough, I was fortunate enough to get into a decent college where there was a lot of exposure and experience that could be gained. My classmates, my batchmates, my seniors were all smart people, doing great, getting to good colleges or getting to good companies. And so just learning from them, it was very inspiring. In fact, Harish and I used to spend a lot of our time 2 a.m. at our seniors' room who had also started up. And there were a bunch of startups in dorm rooms happening, people just sitting on whiteboards, brainstorming what to build, how to build. And so Harish and I used to just go and just sit and just understand what are these guys doing, like one day we'd want to do this. So I think that was instrumental in helping us understand the processes and nuances of building a startup.
That's great. That's great. So, Shreyans, if someone is looking to begin their investment journey,
Yeah.
what would be your advice? And also tell me, how would an education platform help them?
So I think financial literacy is super important.
Absolutely.
it's
And in India, I think we have about just 27% of our people being financially literate.
Wow, I didn't know that.
So,
That's
yeah.
So I knew that I think less than 5 or 7% of Indians invest in the stock market.
Less than 5%.
Yeah,
Less
that's
than
a
5%.
that's a crazy number because in US I think the number is more than 75% of
Correct.
Americans invest, right? So we need to really ramp up financial literacy in order for people to start investing. But I think it's happening. I think it's slowly happening. The last 5 years have been absolutely crazy. A bunch of new platforms have come on.
Yeah.
So whenever someone asks, like how can they start, I usually recommend a couple of platforms. The Top Zero, the Varsity, Grow. I'm sure you guys know.
Of course, Informed Investor.
Yeah, Informed Investor. But I also do say that theoretical knowledge will only get you so far.
True.
You need to really put some money in, maybe lose it, maybe gain, to really get that experience. Oh, okay, I shouldn't have done this, I should do this, right? So what I usually say is that try saving or try carving out some small amount of cash, 5,000 rupees if you can, and assume that you might lose it all tomorrow. You should be okay with that. And create your demat account, create a broker account, and just identify 3 to 5 stocks of companies that you see around you every day. For example, I came here in a cab, Maruti, right? Now, I see Maruti cabs everywhere. Maruti is ramping up its, production of cars. What if I want to buy a Maruti stock? Or
Okay.
Colgate, right? I brushed my teeth today morning. What about the Colgate stock? Where is that? So for new investors, don't go and look into companies that you haven't heard of. Try to look for companies that you see around you, so you can also see, hey, I live in Prestige, right? And I have huge allocation of Prestige in my portfolio because I think Prestige is doing great. When it comes to just real estate, quality of building and stuff. So try identifying a few stocks that you know a little bit about and just read some more about it. How is their profit? How is their revenue? Who is their top management?
Correct.
And over time, you'll start analyzing trends and patterns, and that's when you'll get the confidence to put some money in.
But would you actually recommend someone who just started off their investment journey, to directly invest in stocks or go through the mutual fund route? So, so
Yeah.
they can diversify
Yeah.
the risk.
No, of
Because-
course, of course. I would say actually first start theoretical knowledge a little bit. Right? I'm not saying don't do any theoretical knowledge. You'll obviously have to start what is a stockbroker, what is an exchange, right? These basic questions need to be answered. So I'd say probably spend like a month or so in just learning the theory behind everything, and then mutual funds. Sure, of course, it's a great thing.
It is.
But I think mutual fund is more for long term, right?
Okay.
You put money in and then you can forget about it.
Okay.
Right? But with stocks, you can't forget about it. Right? You can, but like it's not. You should be updating your portfolio every 6-8 months or 1 year, 2 years, seeing what's good, what's not.
Okay, now the professional questions are done. Let's move on to some more personal questions.
Oh no.
No, not too personal, don't worry.
Okay.
So tell me more about your family and tell me how they've supported your journey.
Yeah. My family has been a huge support in everything I
nice.
do. Like they're okay with whatever I'm doing as long as it's moving forward. So my dad works at Fidelity. My mom's a housewife. Yeah, they've been great
Do you have
parents.
siblings?
I have a younger brother. He's also
Nice.
at BITS Goa.
Nice, nice, nice. Give me names of 3 idols or mentors that you look up to.
Um, my mom, my dad, and Michael Jordan.
Nice. So when you're not thinking about edtech as such,
Yeah.
what is this one cause that you're really passionate about?
When I'm not thinking about edtech, so I mean, I've loved finance always, and I think going into fintech or something in finance would be super interesting. But I think I'm just passionate about startups in general, or just building something cool. We have a bunch of side projects going on. One small thing, I feel like weather apps can be
Okay.
made better.
All right.
No one, I mean, weather apps are just inaccurate today.
Very
And
inaccurate. Very.
no one even checks them because no one
Yeah.
trusts them. And so we're in the 21st century, it's 2024. Why can't we have an accurate weather app?
Correct.
Right? And the other day we got stuck at some ice cream place at like 9 p.m. because it started raining. We had to leave our bikes. We had to go by cab. We couldn't find a cab. Like, how is that still happening, right?
True.
And so we're actually working on a weather app that's more crowdsourced,
Okay.
and it's a side project for now. But long story short, I think I'm passionate about just building new things, new technologies, or new products.
Okay. Good. So, but you did say that you loved to travel.
Yeah.
So where did you travel last?
I was in Thailand 2 months ago.
Okay.
I was in Rome for New Year.
Nice.
I was at Greece in Jan. So all over the place. I think I've been to maybe like 20 plus countries, 25 countries.
That's great.
Unfortunately, I haven't got the chance to travel too much within India. So one of my goals for next year is just to explore India. Like
You must.
yeah. I'm from Rajasthan, so I've been to Rajasthan, of course, South Indian states, Karnataka and Kanyakumari and stuff. But would love to check out Himachal or Gujarat or things like that.
Nice. Which is your favorite country?
What is my favorite country?
And why?
That's a tough question. Oh wow. I liked Italy a lot. I liked Italy a lot. I think the people, the culture,
And the pasta really does it
the
for you.
the food, yeah. Yeah, everything, yeah.
Okay, nice. So what book are you currently reading?
I'm currently reading Same as Ever by Morgan Housel.
Okay.
I read his book Psychology of Money, loved the author, love his style of writing. So then I checked what other books he has. Same as Ever is an interesting read. It's about how instead of, as a startup founder, we're constantly thinking about what can we build that will last, right? That will sustain in the future. But more, what Same as Ever talks about is that instead of asking yourself, hey, what's going to change in the next 5 years, ask yourself what's going to remain the same in the next 5 years, right? Like,
Okay.
I think Jeff Bezos also talks a lot about this. He talks about how he knows that in the next 10 years, everything might change, but people will still want cheap prices,
Correct.
fast delivery, and good quality of products. And so they triple down on things that they know are not going to change. And I think that's just a very interesting philosophy to look in the future.
Any other books besides just... Do you read fiction?
Yeah, I love reading fiction.
Okay,
I actually
nice.
started reading fiction. My Percy Jackson. I'm a huge Percy Jackson
Okay,
fan.
nice.
I only started reading non-fiction once we started up to learn more. But I've read like Maze Runner, Divergent, all these
Okay.
classics. I'm currently reading Jeffrey Archer. I think The Glory of Paths.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I've paused it. Same as
Nice.
Ever came in the middle.
Okay. So what show are you currently watching?
The Three Body Problem. I don't know. If you've
Okay,
heard of it.
it's on
a new show
Netflix.
Netflix. Yeah, it's a new
Yeah.
show on Netflix. I used to be big on TV shows. It's reduced over the last couple of years. But yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan of Suits, House of Cards,
Nothing lighthearted.
Rick and Morty.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Last question. Tell us a life mantra that you swear by.
So I think I'll just tell you my WhatsApp status. It's been the same for the last 4 years. Today I'll do what others won't, so tomorrow I can do what others can't.
Nice.
And I think that's just an inspiring sort of quote that I live
Nice. So I think we have another round, a rapid fire round.
Yep.
Okay. Let's start off. Goa, Bangalore.
by. Bangalore.
Okay. What's your favorite cuisine?
Indian.
Indian. Okay. Just Indian?
Indian is my favorite. Italian would be second.
What's your startups or big corporations?
Startups. I'm biased.
Okay. Reading a book or watching a movie?
Reading a book. I read Game of Thrones.
Nice.
Yeah.
Table tennis or basketball?
Table tennis.
AI or human intelligence?
Human intelligence.
Nice. EdTech or free YouTube content?
EdTech.
Thank you so much for speaking with us, Shreyans. One last question. What advice would you give for the young boys and girls out there who are still in college, who want to take that risk, who want to build something?
Yeah.
What advice would you give them?
Just do it.
Just do it.
Just literally take the leap and just do it. You will fail the first X time, so that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I think being in college is a superpower. You have almost no responsibilities. And if you look to your right and left, you can find someone who is equally as smart as you or smarter to be your co-founder.
Okay.
So just do it.
Done. Thank you so much for joining us today, Shreyans. I found value in everything that you had to say, and I hope our audience did too.
Thank you so much for having me here. It's been an absolute pleasure.
And to our audience, thank you for watching till the very end. And if you did like this video, please like and subscribe to our House of Equentis podcast.
Investments in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.